Ashley, Tyler, this is one of the 79 policies the school board is currently reviewing to ensure school policies align with amended and new state laws. This particular policy states only certain people can use physical restraint with students who are part of the ESE program. I went to Gainesville Fire Rescue Station 1 and spoke to members directly involved with the task force today. They told me they witnessed devastation they had never seen before. Behind me is the live fire training, and it is one of the many drills completed monthly by the multi-company training. Members of the Task Force 8 say that flooding was extreme, with up to 16 feet of water. First responders say they have a lot of fun running through the practices, but they also understand its importance. In the newsroom, Mistie Webb, WUFT News. According to the task force members, the best way to help victims is to donate to charities like Red Cross and Convoy of Hope. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Jake and Ashley. I'm here at Chabad UF, and in just about 30 minutes, people will be gathering for unity and solidarity. I spoke to 2 rabbis today. Here's the story. Rabbi Goldman believes that the turnout will be people of many different cultural backgrounds. Reporting live, Mistie Webb, WUFT News. What might look like a building of bricks and metal to some is an important feature to the Gainesville Fire Department. Gainesville Fire Station 3 hosted a multi-company training to prepare for life or death situations.
It's essential for firefighters to experience the difficulties of a fire prior to actually responding to one where there's actual victims inside. So they're going to get introduced to the stressors such as no visibility and high heat before it's actually somebody in there they need to rescue.
The training consists of a variety of drills that simulate realistic challenges in a safe and controlled environment. Here, first responders put their skills to the test. They've been training for months.
So we've worked on these skills and now they're all put together on a real incident scenario-based training.
Behind me is the live fire training, and it is one of the many drills completed monthly by the multi-company training.
They'll rotate through 4 different stations. 3 of them involve search and rescue type events, just a little bit different in nature. And then the last one is a cardiac arrest resuscitation, simulate that we've removed a victim from the fire and now they need to be resuscitated. Preparation is key.
If we just sit in the stations and wait for something to happen, we won't be ready. So we have to practice like we're really doing it.
Because they never know when they may have to put their training to the test. People expected the rivalry on the field at the notorious Florida-Georgia football game. But what people weren't expecting, the anti-Semitic message displayed in the stadium.
It's shocking, upsetting, appalling, and for some people fearful that in 2022, such expressions and agenda of anti-Semitism could still exist.
It caused fear in many people in the Jewish community.
Hearing the voice of a young Jewish student recording today on our voicemail that she wants to know how much police will be present at Friday night services because she attends Chabad UF each week for services and dinner, and now she's scared to, is unacceptable.
It also made families scared.
I have 8 children myself, and I'm concerned.
Chabad is uniting to fight the negativity to eliminate fear. Rabbis across Gainesville share the same sentiments.
Our community comes together and tries to spread a message that the way people should live their lives is a life of love. It's a very important principle in our tradition, a biblical principle, love your neighbor as yourself.
A message they're spreading to varying cultures and backgrounds.
The only response to anti-Semitism, hate, or bias of any kind is light, love, and unity. They are trying to stoke and divide. We will unite and share in each other's spirit with good deeds.
Miles apart, Gainesville Fire Department was eager to send a helping hand. After Hurricane Ian, Southwest Florida was in desperate need of aid. As a result, Task Force 8 went down to affected communities. It was Drew Williams' first time helping in the wake of an aftermath following a natural disaster.
There's a little bit of nervousness because you want to perform in these situations. You want to rely on your training and perform for the guys that are watching you. But it was so surreal, just the true devastation. It's just more than you could imagine.
The group consisted of 27 members from Marion, Ocala, and Gainesville fire departments.
So we started off doing some boat rescues there, some folks that were flooded into their houses that had no access by any road around their area.
Members of the Task Force 8 say that flooding was extreme, with up to 16 feet of water.
When we were down there, they shut the bridge down to Fort Myers. So we would come across some families that were staying in their homes still. They were running out of food and water and stuff, but we would help them. We'd bring them some food and water and stuff like that as much as we could.
And Williams says more work still needs to be done. Thank you for joining us. The U.S. government reached its $31.4 trillion debt limit today, raising fears of an economic train wreck. A Spirit Airlines flight made an emergency landing in Jacksonville after a battery fire in the overhead bin. Last night, a vigil was held on Michigan State's campus following the mass shooting. The vigil was held at The Rock, a boulder on campus that is commonly used to spread messages. Friends, family, and community members gathered together to pay tribute to the victims. Students Brian Fraser, Alexander Werner, and Ariel Anderson were killed during the tragedy. 5 other students were also injured and remain in critical condition at the hospital. The Florida Supreme Court plans to meet February 9th regarding the DUI conviction of a Clay County father. Thomas Frank was charged DUI manslaughter after an ATV accident that killed his teenage son. Clark and his 17-year-old were riding an ATV when it tipped into a ditch.
A parrot delay? That's a new one.
Speaking of rain, Julia, before we go, can we get one last look at the weather? Jacob, I don't know about you, but I've been so hot lately.
I know. I haven't been to Luke's Bagels. You said earlier you have been?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's so amazing. I'm kind of craving one right now.
You're gonna have to take me. We might go after the show.
I will so soon.
Anyway, I remember using Internet Explorer as a kid.
Enough about technology. It's time for sports. It seems like it might be starting to feel like summer here in Gainesville.
I know, but it feels like it's a little bit too soon.
City of Gainesville buses will continue to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, all thanks to funding from the state and federal government.
It's a reunion being on TV with you.
Speaking of reunions, our last story tonight, a dog who went missing 7 years ago finally made it home. Nugget was found limping down a road in South Carolina, but when taken to a vet for medical care, his microchip showed he belongs in New Mexico. The owner, Jesse Springer, says Nugget ran away 7 years ago. With the help of Carolina Loving Hound Rescue, Jesse flew to South Carolina for an emotional reunion. In the spirit of the holy month, Islam on campus at the University of Florida is hosting its annual charity banquet, Fastathon. WUFT's Faria Abrar is joining us live at the event in the O'Connell Center. If you've been struggling to afford your insulin or even skimping on it, you're finally getting a break. Drug maker Eli Lilly will now cap the cost at $35 a month.